Awesome. Well, hello everyone. I am so excited to be here again with our the next session in our interview series. What kind of music do harpists like to play? This is a question a lot of composers like to ask me, and it's a difficult one to answer because we all have such different interests as harpists, even as new music harpists. We all enjoy different things. So I thought it would be fun to interview some harpists and chat about what kind of music we enjoy. So today I'm interviewing Carrie Tollett. Her kind of expertise is in harp and technology, so I'm really excited to hear what she has to share with us. So welcome, Carrie. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and you want to share a little bit about yourself and what you're doing right now?
Yeah, so I am based in Dallas, Texas. I just graduated with my master's in harp performance from the University of North Texas with a special interest in computer music and music technology in general. And so I've just become really passionate about using technology with the harp, and not only myself using it, but also teaching other harpists how to use it as well. And so it's been really fun to kind of bring the harp into this modern context of using things like guitar effects pedals and just getting more familiar with online softwares like Ableton Live and Pro Tools, and just really being able to transform the sound of the harp that most people expect from the instrument and make it sound like an electric guitar or like a synthesizer, and just really fun things like that. So yeah, that's kind of my area of interest, which is really stemmed from my love for classical music. And so just being able to combine the two has been really exciting.
That's awesome. And we have Ruth with us again today, so enjoy the little peeps in the background. So what was it that kind of helped you make that transition into doing more contemporary music? Because I know you've mentioned in your bio, you really started as a classical harpist, like most of us have done.
Yeah, well, I absolutely love classical music. I always will. But I've always loved playing a variety of genres on the harp. Like when I was younger, I always wanted to try to play like pop songs or just other songs I would hear on the radio. And it wasn't until my sophomore year of college where I saw another harpist using effects pedals with the harp, specifically a loop pedal. And that just completely blew my mind that was even possible with the harp. The fact that like I could loop myself playing and basically sound like a one-person band. And so that was really exciting for me. And that just kind of opened up this entire new world of the possibilities of the instrument. And so I just felt like I had to explore it and see what was possible. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's something I've always wanted to try to do, but just never had the time to be able to dedicate to that. So I've loved that you've been able to do that. So what kind of music do you enjoy doing the most as far as when you're integrating technology? Is it original compositions? Is it collaborations with other composers? Is it your own arrangements? Is there anything special that you enjoy, or is it just kind of a little bit of everything?
Yeah. I definitely love collaborating with other composers. In fact, another add-on to your previous question is kind of also another element that sparked my interest is that in my undergrad, a composer came to me with an idea of writing this piece for 7 harps. And so basically his idea was that it would I could play it on my recital, and I would pre-record all 7 harp parts and then play live in my recital, playing like the first harp, and then the 6 harps would be playing recorded. So I'd basically be playing along with myself. And so even though that wasn't necessarily using effects pedals or anything, it was still like this new thing I had never seen other harpists do before, of like playing with pre-recorded material, and just that also opened up a new world for me. So things like that, like composers are just so creative in how they can utilize our instrument. And so definitely love working with composers, and alongside my love for pop music and translating that onto the harp, I love doing, covers of some like fun pop songs we might hear on the radio, or I love film score music, especially Hans Zimmer. Like I think his music lends itself really well to the harp. And so, yeah, things like that. I really love soundscapes in general. And I think the harp is such a cool instrument to create that because it's already such a resonant instrument. So when you add things like reverb and delay, it really just like it can give you this bed of sound that's just really cool to work on and build material on top of. And I would say another type of music I really love is additive music. So just kind of like a loop pedal, just adding layer upon layer of sound and just creating this atmosphere, this soundscape of really neat textures. So yeah.
So do you do a lot of like improv as well, like, free or improv, or is it mostly pre-planned music that you do?
Yeah, I don't do a whole lot of improv. I would love to get into that into the future. I think that's a really helpful skill to have. A lot of what I do, most of the pop songs I do, I'll just figure out by ear, and sometimes I'll write it down, but a lot of it is just me listening to a song and figuring out on the harp and just kind of going from there.
So how did you actually start with technology? I know a lot of us kind of want to do it, but we're not really sure, where to start because there's so many options and we really have no background.
Yeah.
And how did you figure out where to start with it?
I literally had no idea what I was doing when I started because there just isn't a lot of information for harpists specifically. But the first thing I did was I knew I needed an amplifier, of course, and then you need to translate your sound to the amplifier. So I got a pickup installed on my harp, which allowed the sound from my harp to be turned into an electrical signal to go out to my amp. And then, so I had the pickup, an amplifier, and a loop pedal as like my first few things to work with. So that would be the first thing I would recommend to any harpists interested in getting into this, is just start with those 3 things.
Yeah, and then you had written an ebook for harpists with a lot of that information. So we can share the link to Carrie's website after we finish the interview if any of you all are interested, if that's still available.
Yes, it is.
For sure. So are there any specific favorite collaborations that you've done? I know you mentioned that first one that you did. Are there any special ones that you think about that you especially love?
So a good friend of mine at UNT, Elena Brown, she is a flutist, a composer, a singer-songwriter, just incredibly talented. And once she found out that I was interested in using electronics with the harp, which is also, she incorporates a lot of technology with her flute playing and things, she came to me with this idea of writing a piece for harp and electronics. And so it's something I ended up playing on my recital about a month ago, and basically she used a software called Max, where she was able to program a chain of effects that could be cued by a space bar on my computer. And so while I was playing, she would have like distortion and reverb and delay, all these different effects kind of set off during the piece that just created this really cool piece as a whole. So yeah, that one was definitely really special to me, and to be able to work with a good friend of mine was also really fun.
That's awesome. And do you have any upcoming projects coming up that you'd like to share?
Yeah, well, I am working on developing some course material for teaching harpists how to use technology with the harp, and I'm also in the very beginning stages of creating a new album of harp music, incorporating effects and technology and things like that. So be on the lookout for that.
Awesome.
Hopefully come soon.
Yeah, so as soon as we finish here, we'll share your website in the comments for anyone who's interested. So those of you who write for harp and want to incorporate technology, Carrie is definitely your person. I love that stuff, but I'm not skilled in that. So reach out to Carrie, and and Ruth is getting a little bit impatient. So probably have to wrap it up, but thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll send that information to you all. So thank you, and bye everyone.
Thank you.